Hold up.
On December 31, 2017, just a day prior to the New Year, everyone were just busy with their New Year plans, but I decided to have a different kind of plan, and I decided to ride to Chidambaram and Pichavaram. Guess what? It turns out to be one of the most memorable rides of my life. This is my story of my ride to Chidambaram and Pichavaram. It was about 4 in the morning. I woke up, got out of my bed, brushed my teeth, refreshed up, and it was about 4:30 I got on my bike.
Woke up from a whisper, collared shirt down by my feet, stood on crowded bathroom row. Voices filled the rooms upstairs. Our Ford was warm before we drove.
Okay. Hello, YouTube. I'm on the bike now. No more voiceovers. And just you can see there is no fuel in my bike. So I need to fill up the fuel and start going and meet my friends at OMR toll. You know the OMR toll, right? If you are in Chennai, you must be familiar with the OMR toll. So I am in KK Nagar now, so it will take about 10 to 15 minutes to reach the OMR toll. So from there I will meet my friends, and I am sure we will start from there. Oh fuck. That is called the Dogs Club. Oh my god, there's a lot of dogs here. Okay, let's see how it goes today.
After meeting my friends at the OMR toll, we set out the ride. Nearly by 5:30 we started the ride, and it was just a pleasant ride. We were doing 60s and 80s all the way along. We don't want to get caught by the police in the ECR. You know the ECR police, they were really strict. We reached ECR toll by about 6 o'clock in the morning, and we didn't stop anywhere until the first break, which was at about 6:30. We had completed about 50 or 60 kilometers. It was about 6:30 and we had to take a small break, and we have completed about 50 kilometers. We took a small break in a small tea shop. The sun was coming up, it was very chill. We were enjoying the ride, and till now the ride was very pleasant, and we really enjoyed the ride. We again set out the ride. We were riding towards Pondicherry, and we decided to visit Pondicherry beach for a small time and then go towards our destination. Finally, we reached the iconic rock beach of Pondicherry, and we decided to have a small break at the Lee Cafe, the most iconic or the most famous cafe in Pondicherry. It was so crowded early in the morning, we didn't even have a seat to sit. Plus eventually we found a seat. I was so carried away by the beauty of the beach, I just went near the rocks and just took a moment of relief, and then later we decided to move on to the destination because we don't want to be late. and there waits a lot of surprises for us on the way towards Chidambaram. There is only one route to Chidambaram from Pondicherry, that is via the Kadalur. I think we were at the wrong time. It was the peak hours for the Kadalur market. The roads become smaller and smaller. More potholes begins to arise a lot. We were struggling with the speed. We can do only 50s and 60s. It was just 65 kilometers more, which we completed in 1.5 hours, or like nearly 2 hours took for us to complete. We were doing decent speeds. Still, it was really tough. We were tired on the halfway of the ride, and we definitely needed a break.
Like me, love me, touch me right there. Yeah. I am stepping in the light, into the bright air. Yeah. You got my knees weak, my body out of control. You know I'll give you everything you ever want. You got my knees weak, my body out of control. I want you all to myself. Oh, and it's nothing like I never felt this before. I never felt this before. I never felt this before.
Finally, after a lot of hard rides, we reached the Chidambaram, the iconic town of Chidambaram. So first, I would like to say a few words about the town. Chidambaram is the capital of the Cholas in the 10th century, and later it was changed to Tanjavur, where the Brigadishwar temple was built. So the main spot on Chidambaram is the Nataraja temple, Chidambaram Nataraja temple. This was built in the 10th century by the great Rajaraja Cholan I. There are 4 towers, or the 4 gates for the temple. 2 gates were built by him, one by the Pandyas and the another by the Vijayanagara Empire. Where does the name Nataraja comes from? I searched the Wikipedia and everything, but I didn't get a good conclusion until I reached another trusted source of information, my grandfather. He said it correctly. Nataraja is the name of Shiva in another form, and God Shiva and goddess Parvati, they both had an ego clash, like who is the best when it comes to dance. And that is when they had a little battle among themselves in dance, when Lord Shiva he had an earring which he dropped during the dance, and he took it by his legs and placed it back on the ear. This is when he got the name Nataraja, and this is the time goddess Parvati, she was stayed at the end of the town, somewhere more distant from the temple, and that is called the Thillayamman temple. So it is really fascinating how the kings that time, they believed the story, and they were so fascinated they built a temple according to the myth. Like this is the Nataraja temple, and about 1.3 kilometers away from here is the Thillayamman temple. I mean, this is so great. The people that time, they were really believing the gods, and they had so much faith in them. They built these magnificent and beautiful buildings. The only thing I was disappointed about this temple is the number of foreign tourists are more than the Indian tourists. The people that were in the temple were the foreign tourists and the local people. No Indian tourists were to be seen. We were just there, and I just realized that there is a lot of places to be explored in India. rather than going to another country and looking for tourist places. We people can explore India and a lot of places in India, and this is how we can enjoy our culture, our heritage. This is when we realize that India is far more superior than the other countries in terms of the architecture. And boy, boy, when you go to places like this, you just realize what wrong we are doing and what things we should do in life. After looking these historic places, we started our journey to Pichavaram, the boat house, which is again another good spot to visit of the sea. So the important things you need to know about the Pichavaram boat house is there are two types of boat, rowboat and motor boats, and there is a lot of hoax. People try to stop you before you are entering the boat house. So be careful. There's a toll to be paid which is 10 rupees, and the motor boats and rowboats different charges. If you are in low numbers, you have to go to the rowboats, but there is a disadvantage. If you are under direct sun, the rowboat takes time about 1 hour, and it's gonna be very very tiring. You have to be in the direct sun. In case of motor boats, you should be at least 10 members, and the amount is 1,350 rupees. So be careful. Select a particular time for the boating, otherwise I don't think it's worth, because you're going to be very tired at the end of the ride. After the boat ride, we start our journey back towards Chennai. This time I didn't record anything. I was like, when I reached home I was very tired, and so I didn't record anything during the return. What happened is I started the journey at 12 o'clock. I reached Pondicherry by 2 o'clock. I went to a coffee day, had a small snack. If you know that if you own a sports bike, you cannot have a full stomach food, because you really will have an additional stomach pain to a back pain. So I had a snack, and from there again I speeded in easier back towards home. It was about 4:30 I reached home. It was one of the most memorable, and I would remember this ride for another 2 to 3 years until I get another one memorable ride. That's all for today, guys. Make sure you leave a like, and if you are new to the channel, do subscribe. And I have one thing more to say. Don't think about the past, don't think about the future. Live the present and have a wonderful new year, guys.